People do give up at the moment that they're not supposed to give up. They are just there and they give up. And I see this happen so frequently. When you start studying something new, there are two mindsets that are very important. You have to have these in order to be able to even start learning. First of all, you have to believe that you're going to learn it, and you have to believe that it is not difficult. And then second is persistence. So if you don't believe that you can, learn it, the second one doesn't matter. If you're going into a course, or if you're trying to learn any subject or anything that you don't believe you can learn, or you think it is too complicated, you're not going to learn it. So the first and most important thing is to go into it and believe that you will learn it. And another thing that I would say is that never give up on a subject, but give up on the person who is teaching you. Give up on a book that you're reading. Give up on the video that you're watching about it. Give up on the questions that you ask about it. You have to be able to let go. You have to be able to not memorize things. Because if you start memorizing, even though it's going to stick in your mind, you don't really understand what's going on. So when you build up and you have all of these important foundational stuff memorized, then when you're getting higher, the problem is it's the learning rate won't become faster and it becomes slower because you're learning each one of these individually. While in science and in technology, stuff getting built, each one of these subjects are getting built on top of each other. And then once you learned all the foundation very well, going up is very easy. So at the beginning, it's going to be very slow, and that is where you're supposed to be persistent and persevere. And then after that, when you're going up, it's going to be so fast because you already know all of these concepts and you're just putting them together. For one subject, some of the subjects is not 2-3 videos, is not 2-3 videos, one book, one teacher, or you can have AI tutor, and that's actually very good, and it's a very powerful tool. Yeah, go through them fast. Don't try to memorize any of them. And then when you went through multiple videos and books and instructors, try to imagine. Once you start being able to imagine, that is when you're learning. If you memorize, it doesn't matter how well you memorized everything, it's not going to be useful. But if you don't have any memory of most of the stuff, but you're able to imagine it, that's all. Because they can ask you a question from any angle and you're able to answer. Let me give you an example. You want to create this circuit, okay? You understand what lamp is, you understand what wire is, what switches, and what is a battery, right? And then when you have all of these in mind, you can easily imagine it, like you're connecting the lamp to the switch and the battery, and then when you turn on the switch, the electricity is going to flow in the circuit and your light will be on. Okay, but then they're going to add another thing that you have never heard before, which is a resistor. Now you cannot imagine what happens. How does the electricity flow? You don't know anything. So the whole thing is going to fall apart because right now there's a new component that you're not sure how is it going to change this circuit. You cannot imagine this anymore. Okay, but then somebody comes and explains to you that it will reduce the electricity, it will reduce the voltage, and that way it will protect your devices. So now you understand that when the electricity flow through, then it will stop, go slow, and then come back, flow through, and then stop, go slow, and it keep doing this circle over and over again. So that resistor stopped you from imagining the circuit. You always, whatever subject that you're studying, see which one of these components, which word, what is it that's stopping you from imagining it, and then go and try to figure out what that component does, and then come back to the original. When you come back to the original, now you can imagine it because you have all of the pieces together. You have done all of this, but it is not done yet. The next step is that you're getting exhausted. You don't think anything's working. You have studied all of the videos you have studied the books, and you have gone through questions with ChatGPT and AI, and you have watched so many videos about it. You're just exhausted. You don't know what's going on. This is so complicated. And this is exactly the point that you're closest to getting it. So many people give up at this point. When they give up, they don't go back to the subject. They're like, okay, this is impossible. I have watched hours of videos. I have read books about it. I have read articles about it. I used AI tools to ask questions. I'm not getting it. This is too difficult. That is the moment. You're so close, very close. What you're supposed to do at this point is to get up, forget about it, get it out of your mind, and go for a walk. Go eat something, go do something. Just forget about the whole situation. But within 1 or 2 days, this can be few hours to 1 or 2 days, not more than that, because you're going to forget whatever you read before. You're going back to the subject. Open the book. I promise you, you already got it. This is actually how learning happens. Always remember, don't go after one source and just try to memorize that source. Try different areas, try different things. And at that point, when you're so exhausted, don't think it's the end of it. It's the moment that you're closest to figuring it out. Just take it easy. Don't try to memorize anything. Go through videos, try to imagine it, try to find what is it that stops you from imagining it, and then go figure it out. After all of this, you're gonna get exhausted. You think you're not getting the subject. Go take a walk, relax, and then come back to it, and everything start making sense. Even you might not even start coming back. When you start thinking about it again, it's going to fall in its place. You're going to understand what it was about. And that is exactly the same thing with most of the people you're hearing. Some of them are saying, oh, sometimes I'm going for a walk and I can solve a solution and I can solve an equation that was in my mind or something like this. It's because there are hours of study before going for this walk. It's because that person was exhausted and thought that this is the end of it. I can't figure it out. And then the second time that it comes to your mind, it started to make sense. And this happens for all people, if not all people, for majority of people. I hope you believe me and I hope you start studying like this because I guarantee you it will work.